second. Is it doing it? I don't see it yet. There. Nope. Okay, great. Well, good morning, everybody, or evening for others. Welcome to the demo. I'm really excited to show you the new site. We've been working really hard on it, and I have my buddy Dylan Snodgrass here to help us walk through some of the technical parts. The platform is basically the same, but what tech community has done has made some adjustments on their own and kind of out of the box features. And so that's what I wanted to show you on this demo, just so that you're more familiar with the space and you can hit the ground running when we release our new website on May 8th. So let's see, I'll just kind of tell you what we're going to be going over today. We're just going to be going through the intro. We're going to go we're going to go through all the features, and at the end, I'll let you ask questions, and we can kind of go back and forth. And if you have any other concerns, we can share them after the recording's completed. And then I'm going to try and end this 5 minutes early so everybody can have some time before their next call. Sometimes it's hard to jump from call to call, so I'd like to do that for everybody. So I want to take you through the benefits of our new site. It's going to be updated look, new discussion spaces. It's going to be more aligned with our current partner website, which I think our partners will find it'll be so much easier to find the information that's relatable to them and the topics that are current. Because our old site was built a couple of years ago, and not all of the forums and communities align with our new programs, I'd say. We'll have a new navigation, which Alan and I have been working really hard on, which will help filter. Instead of having all the communities on one page, it filters from bucket to bucket. And as you click on those buckets, it opens up and we have more buckets in it. So it kind of helps filter quickly. We also have new features, which is labels. We'll go over all of these in the demo. Subscriptions, related source box, and a recent blogs carousel. And we have an updated events calendar, which I'm really excited about, which will allow all of you to submit your own events. This is huge. I think it will be much easier for everybody to control their content. We'll get more events quickly, and I'm hoping to make this a one-stop shop for all partner events across the company. Right now, it feels that they're a little bit segregated. You can go here for these and go over here for these events. I'm hoping to get them all into one place. So what we're going to be going over today is the homepage, how to use the search bar to find only partner community blogs or content, how to create a post, best practices for product admins, aka moderators. In MPC, they're called moderators. In tech community, they're called product admins. So get used to that verbiage. Group hubs, how they work, how to invite people, how to approve members. The related sources pane, which is all new to us, labels, which is going to be new to us, and the new employee lounge, which you'll have access to as product admins that lives on the tech space, and then how to go and how to submit your events. Okay, so I'm going to share my other screen so that we can go through the site. Guys. Okay, can you guys see that okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. So here is our new site. And these are our 3 buckets. So I'm keeping the picture the same so people know that they're in the right spot. These are our 3 new navigations. I'll kind of take this one. I'll take this one, Dylan, and then I'll let you go through the rest.
Yeah,
so
take whatever you need.
Awesome. So this is our 3 buckets that we've decided to do. We have the Microsoft Cloud Partner Program, we have the regional partner information, and partner news and events. So all of anything related to MCPP is going to be found here. If you drill down a little bit, you'll have discussion topics. This will take you to business intelligence, Linux. So these are going to be areas where there are discussions. It's more of us sharing information out to partners. This is how I would categorize this area. So now we have partner communities. Partner communities are going to be more like-minded partners grouped into a certain area. So let's say IAMCP, Black Partner Growth Initiative, Partners for Social Impact. So it's more like-minded partners grouped in one community, if that makes sense. So if we go back to the top, regional partner information, this is where we're going to find all the different areas, which is, I think, a lot of you on this call. And everybody's got their own space, and we're working on creating your own discussion boards and blogs to make it easier for you to move your present your information in grouped areas. So let's just go to Ireland because we've been working on this one pretty hard too. So she's got her 6 boards, and then she's got a blog. So the blogs, to make sure that everybody knows the differences, are the one that's more of a one-way conversation. That's going to be us sharing announcements or information out. People can like it, but they cannot comment. Discussion boards are going to be more of a two-way conversation where they can comment, they can ask questions, they can also start a post. So that's going to be the difference between a discussion board and a blog. There's also group hubs, which are the same as they are on MPC, where you're going to we can keep it gated or open. So you can invite members, but you're going to have to manage the members on your own. So it's a little bit, when you have a closed community, it's really hard to gain followers. People don't know it's there. It's hard to approve them. So I would recommend, if you do a group hub, to keep it open and available and viewable to everyone. I find that that's more successful. And then the last bucket we have is partner news and events. So partner news is going to be kind of like our general announcements right now in MPC. This is where all the new announcements are going to live. And if we can just click into here, and I think, so this is where this is a blog. Like I said, it's more of a one-way conversation. So since it's news, we've made it just a one-way conversation. So all of our partners can like the information, but they can't really respond to it. And here you'll find all the different blogs. You see the fancy little pictures and all the different happening things. Now, if I take this back up a moment and I go back to partner event or partner calendar, I just want to show you what this looks like. We have a new view. So on our old one, we'd have a view similar to this one where you have the picture and then you have the information on the side. But we have this fancy new view where we have a calendar. And when you see an event, which is not populated on here anymore, when you do have an event, it shows here as a link, and you can roll over the link and it will kind of give you a quick update of the picture, kind of the subject line, what this event is. And so you'll be able to see every event for the entire month just by looking at this view, which I'm really excited about. All right, so now I'm going to hand it over to Dylan to go over kind of the search bar and how that works for just our area. So let me go back up to the top here. Where do so I'm still going back up. Go back. All right, so I guess it didn't really do much for me.
So what you want to do, go ahead and go to the discussion spaces.
Discussion spaces? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm still learning, everybody. Let's just pick this one.
Alrighty, I'll take it away. Hello again, everyone. Just as a really quick introduction, I'm Dylan Snodgrass. I am the lead community success manager for the Microsoft Tech community. So I've been here for coming up on 6 years. So I have quite a lot of history here under my belt. So line item at hand, searching within your community. Now, there is, of course, the search bar up at the top of the page. That is for searching the entire tech community as a whole, which is not exactly going to help you as you're looking for partner-specific content. So what you'll see actually about halfway down the page, you see that big blue box that says Start New Discussion. Just to the right of it, it says Search this space. So essentially all that you would do is you would just type in whatever search you're doing, whether it be within the specific discussion space or looking at the general community as well for the partner community. You would find this box in the same spot per discussion space, and you would just simply be able to look up, say you wanted to look up advanced support for partners, ASFP, anything like that. You would just be able to type it into that box and you would be able to find it without issue.
Great. And then starting a new discussion or creating a post which
Sure.
is
Go ahead and click on that button for me. So this experience, to my knowledge, should be relatively the same sort of experience that you have had in the past, considering that tech community and the former partner community were both built on the same platform, Koros. So it's pretty simple here. You'll need a subject and you'll need a message body of the actual post. And then looking at the labels as well. Labels is going to work a lot like how tags do in most other areas on the internet in regards to that it helps create filterable or searchable content, and also helps kind of provide analytics based around specific labels, all that fun stuff. So usually those are the three main components that are required to get a post out, a discussion space post out. You do, of course, have the opportunity to not allow anyone to give likes to a post. Now, granted, that's, of course, going to affect engagement. So we don't often recommend turning that one on or flipping that switch, but it is available just in case if you need to. Canonical URL is going to be just the URL that you might want to have be showcasing for analytics purposes. So say you have multiple discussion space posts that's going to be around a campaign or an effort, but you want the analytics or the SEO to point to a specific post. You would simply just put the URL for the one that matters, say quote unquote matters, into that box. So that way it'll help kind of filter SEO. That's a bunch of SEO stuff. That's if that matters to you. If you have any sort of further efforts for campaigns, or if you want to have that conversation, don't hesitate at all to reach out to the team. We can dive into that a little bit more, but it's usually on an ad hoc basis. But it's right here, so I figured I might as well provide some information on it. SEO title and SEO description, relatively self-explanatory for search engine optimization. The content that you need optimized from the search engines, you would essentially just put into those boxes. Drag and drop here to browse files to attach, which is just there at the bottom of the post, simply just putting in large media files. And of course, it does show the maximum size of 71 megabytes just for a specific post alone, and that is per attachment. So, and then you just hit the post button. It's relatively simple and easy from there. And just kind of reiterate, much like Jill had said, discussion space posts is much like a two-way street. So you all can make posts within your discussion spaces, absolutely, but also your partners will. People who just want to engage will. So definitely keep an eye on these discussion spaces, as this is going to be more round table-esque in regards to the interaction styles and what you can expect to get from it. So it's very much, you know, a way that I always look at discussion spaces versus blog spaces. Discussion spaces are a round table conversation. We don't necessarily have full control over who posts what or what gets posted. And sometimes the conversation isn't exactly the kind of conversation we want to have. But the beauty of community is that it's important to be able to still have those conversations, and it's important to still have a seat at that round table and even facilitate it. Blogs, think of that more like presentation, think of that more like being on a stage. You are sharing information out, and yes, people can comment on it, they can interact with the posts, but it's not necessarily much of a discussion. You know, the blog post is in and of itself a blog post. And so this is making a post on a discussion space. And then something else that I would like to kind of go into that is around best practices. Just kind of going down the list that Jill provided for me. Jill, if you could do me a favor, could you just go back one breadcrumb there up at the top, just to advance support for partners? So, and then if you could just go to your the top post here that we have here from Asher. Asher, if you're on the call, I'm not singling you out, I promise. So,
Yeah,
this is just
yeah, sure.
sure. Hey, I'm just glad
This
that
is-
there's a post in there. Congrats. I saw it in there. I was all, yeah.
Great job. So this is just kind of show the menus. We're gonna go into some of the best practices. So one of the main things that happens with discussion spaces across community, I'm sure that you all have experienced this in the past as well, is that sometimes a post isn't something that you want to have available. Sometimes it's spam. Sometimes it is about something that is possibly a tented conversation. Goodness gracious, we all hope that no one posts tented content on the tech community that is public for the eye to see. Sometimes, unfortunately, humanity makes mistakes. So the best opportunities and options for you regarding from a moderation perspective is going to be based around the fun little 3 dots there up at the right-hand corner of the post. So you'll see various different options here, but the ones that are tied more towards moderation are towards the bottom in that second group. Report inappropriate content and mark as spam. So reporting something as inappropriate content is going to actually bring it over to the post to a feed that my team has access to as admins for the tech community as a whole. We take a look at the content, and if it is inappropriate, we remove it or hide it and archive it just to make sure that no one else has access to it and all that fun stuff. And we normally have a 24-hour SLA. If something needs to be hidden immediately because it is spam, it is tented, or anything like that, if you mark as spam, it will automatically get quarantined. So it will automatically be removed. No one will be able to see the post other than access to the spam quarantine, which is my team. And then we will take a look at it. And in any sort of special instance, if it is something that is nefarious for any reasons, if it's just general spam, we'll let it sit in the spam quarantine and everything's great. And everything will learn from the spam quarantine and what kind of stuff needs to get auto flagged. But if there is any content in there that needs to be moderated and hidden ASAP, say it's a Saturday afternoon, our team isn't necessarily available, but we need something down. If you mark it as spam, it'll get quarantined. We'll take a look at it, and then we can either remove it entirely, handle it accordingly, work with the user specifically, all that fun stuff from a moderation perspective. My team will handle. But of course, as always, Jill is available. My team is available. If we need to have a longer conversation around the moderation of a specific account or a specific post, we can absolutely have that conversation. So a few other things regarding best practices. I do just want to call it out. The admins box that you're seeing on the right-hand side in the black box, that's just admins. Jill is seeing that because she's an admin. You will not. So don't worry about if you don't see that. Just want to make that very clear. An aspect of, I'm getting a little turnaround here. Best practices. So looking at discussion spaces, if you can go back out of this post actually for me, Jill, please. One more to the partner discussion topics. Perfect. So we see a lot of different discussion space options here, for different types of conversations, different types of topics. Sometimes you'll run into posts that would fit in multiple spaces, or if, say, it needs to be moved to the appropriate space. That's a moderation option for moving things that Jill is able to handle. And you would just simply work directly with Jill. But for your own posts, what I would very much want to just stress is try and adhere to the topic at hand within those discussion spaces as best as possible, as community is very much everybody learning from each other, and that also stands to reason with community practices. So making sure that people are posting the right content in the right spaces, they'll definitely follow your lead on that. So something to just be very specific with. Jill, was there anything else from that section that you wanted me to kind of dive into? Any thoughts on your end?
I think that's good. I think one thing I don't know if everybody's aware, but you can embed videos on, I don't think we went over that, and I don't know if everybody's aware, but you can embed videos. Alan, remind me, does it have to be a specific style of video? I know YouTube videos are allowed.
Yeah, it has to live on a platform that supports embedding. So YouTube is a good example. Officially speaking, from Microsoft's perspective, if you're sharing a video, it should be on a platform called Red Tiger using one player. But YouTube also works, and we've actually set up our cookie compliance so that if you do insert a YouTube video, it will stop YouTube dropping cookies until the user's accepted them. So yeah, we can definitely help if there are videos you want to embed. Other platforms which you could embed, we've had a team that embedded something from Twitch once. We had a team that embedded Microsoft Stream video. It was a post for employees. So yeah, there are definitely options around videos. We don't natively support hosting videos natively within the tech community. They have to be somewhere else first. If that causes you any issues, then obviously reach out to us and we can explore options.
Right, and I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of that, because let's say you have a recording of a office hours or some kind of event that you would like to share with your group. You could upload it here and have it play right in the post, which is helpful. So no, that's all that on that one, Dylan. Thank you.
Absolutely. So then let's take a look at Group Hub.
So I've created one already for all of our product admins. So that'll be a place where you can post your questions, your concerns as we move forward on the new site. This is hidden. Only product admins, internal or contractors will be able to have access to this. You have to be admitted. So if I haven't given you access, the only people that have access right now actually are the ones that put their usernames on the handy dandy moderator user name list. I've granted you access already, but if you don't have access, let me know and we will get you in there. But okay, take it away, Dylan.
Yeah, sure. So a group hub is going to be a lot of like a community hub, which is what the partner community is, community hub. So a group hub is a smaller, more condensed version of it. That is something that you all can manage a group hub yourselves. So if, say, you need to have a specific conversation with a specific group of people, however that may be, I'm sure there's various reasons that we all run into every single day. You would be able to manage that through here, and as well as managing kind of who has access to it, much like Jill was explaining about this private group hub. So if you could actually go over to group info, I think we'll just go down the list of the different tabs. Group info, relatively self-explanatory. You can look at the specific group hub here. There's 34 members in this one, and it was created on April 19th. Some fun information there. And then now we can go over to discussions. I just wanted to make sure that people saw what that looked like. So contribute content is much like creating a post. So and the experience should be exactly the same as creating a post. And then this is all one big feed. So it will be updating. Now, of course, we can look at pinning conversations to the top if need be, but this is just going to be one big feed. People who are able to contribute content will be able to here. So this could get a little wild, which is why being able to manage and moderate who has access to it is what's important. And we can, of course, if there's further conversations that we need to have in regards to what we can do here, definitely let us know. And then you can filter or sort by the newest ones with the newest replies, all that fun stuff. It's a relatively standard practice, and it should be around what you all have experienced with the partner community before as well. And you can filter to a specific type of post of the kind of content that you're looking for. You can go over to members now. I saw you mouse on over there.
I jumped ahead.
Ooh. Yeah, no worries. So this is where you're going to be able to see everyone who is a member of your group hub, as well as managing access to it. So you can, of course, send an invite to a specific member. And then simply you just hit the send invite. It'll pull up a box, and then you will be able to kind of put in that person's profile, and then they'll get an email invite, like I did.
Yeah.
I need to join this. My bad. So looking at all the different members, you'll also be able to edit the roles that they have as just a member or an owner. I imagine that you all will just be keeping everybody at member, but that option is available if, say, members of the teams change or anything like that, and new people need to have access to it, you would be able to edit their role, or fully remove them if you need to. Pending member invites, much as you all just saw, you'll be able to accept people who are, some people may have requested access, you'd be able to accept them there, or send out more invites. And then pending email invites is very much the same process. You just send it via email, the email that's attached to their tech community profile. So, and then if you could go over to labels for me. And go ahead and just select a board. So from the dropdown, you'll select a board. This is if you have multiple discussion spaces or like if you have a discussion space in a blog space within your group hub. Again, interaction styles are the same. One's a round table, one's more like a stage. So you will be able to take a look at if you require labels on posts. Requiring labels on posts is usually you need to have a label in order for the post to actually go up. This helps from sorting perspective. This also helps from analytics perspective. So normally people say we'll put yes, but oftentimes people will say no. They don't worry if there's labels attached to it or anything like that. It usually just depends on kind of how granular you all want to get with the analytics experience and how to sort. Label type. So you only user defined labels. User defined labels means I'm making a post and I'm just typing in a label. Predefined labels is say you have a predefined list, brand approved labels, all that fun stuff. That is just a full list that gives a series of buttons that users will select whichever labels makes the most sense for their profile or for their post. And then using both just means that they can use both. Either they'll use the buttons that are available there or they can type in their own. When people type in their own, you run into the possible issue of spelling mistakes, capitalization mistakes, possible brand issues, but that all just depends on kind of how specific you will want to get with this. And then, of course, adding a label, it's pretty self-explanatory. You would just add a label to the predefined labels. So you can put partner community, anything like that, and you would hit go, and then it would be a predefined label. So this is the gambit of moderation options and kind of how group hubs work. If you want to create a group hub that is going to be specific to your area or anything like that, I'm sure that's a further conversation with Jill about getting that all created for you.
Great, thanks, Dylan.
Of course.
All right, next, what do we got? Related resources pane and pinning posts. This is new to us. I did put one in the more resources box so that we have an illustration of one. So.
Excellent. So pinning posts, I'll dive into. So if you could go ahead and just open up, say, the register for the next CSP partner technical training. So pinning a post is going to also be via that yes, that one. I forgot the word dot all of a sudden.
Ellipses.
Yeah. So let's see. Where is the option? Is it not on here?
Subscribe bookmark. I don't see it. Is it edit?
I was hoping you'd see the chat. That is a blog. You cannot pin a blog. It has to be a discussion.
That would explain that. No, yeah, okay. That explains that. Sorry, everyone. So we want to go to a discussion space post.
Okay, so let's go discussion space. Let's go here. Let's go back to Asher's event. Let's pick on Asher today. All right, so we'll go into this one.
Discussion topics, top right, next to the subscribe button.
Yeah, it's up at the top, further up.
Oh, it's at the top. Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
See, I don't even know.
So, and then the fourth option there is going to be that you can pin the discussion for all users. So by pinning it, it's going to stay up at the top of that feed, much like you were seeing where it is now, because that is the post that is in the discussion space. As more posts come in, it will get further down. So it might not be as accessible. It might not be as showcased as you all may want your content to be. Oftentimes, this is where you put a welcome post, a something that you need to have is the big neon sign on it to make sure that people are seeing it, whether it be because of a welcome to the community or it is very important information to the community. You can pin it for everyone so that way it will always stay up at the top. And exactly, it'll show up within the pin posts there. So it'll just be further showcased up at the top and very, very reachable. So then for the related resources, if you could go back to the Alan, your hand is raised.
Yeah, so just want to quickly cover off that UI that you just saw when you were pinning the post. For the most part, partners will only be pinning posts in the current board, not across the whole community. You will find this from time to time. Obviously, our UI has been built to accommodate a wide audience of people. So why is it there and what's the difference? So if you were to click pin for the whole community, then your post will show up as pinned for everyone who is in the current category. And so that given, for example, in the regional, when you're in the regional partners and you've got the list of regional people, if you pinned it for the whole community, it would show up for everyone in the Ireland group, for example, on every discussion board in that board. It doesn't break outside of the Ireland area, though, so it only affects the node. There's no other way for me to put that. The node in which your discussion currently lives, okay? So for the most part, you'll be pinning posts if you are pinning posts to the current board. But if you were trying to put up a post which you wanted to show as pinned for all of these discussion areas, then you could pin it for the community, and you would only need to post it once, and it would show up at the top of all of the discussion boards. Mm-hmm. Hope that was clear. Sorry, it's a little bit complicated, but obviously we're just trying to figure out how we communicate this to you all.
So if Oh, go ahead.
Go on.
Sorry, Dylan.
No, you go for it.
Well, since I'm still learning how to do the pinning too, so what you mean is how do I like, let's say Ireland wanted to post one of their discussions. If they had a discussion in here, we'd have the 3 ellipses, and then they could go to that discussion just like we did and choose on the there was 2 boxes. One was on the left and one was on the right. They choose the one that was just their category.
So in
their area.
Yeah, so if you wanted to appear on all discussion spaces, you would click pin for this community, and it will show up in all discussion spaces in the Ireland partners area. If you only wanted to pin a discussion to this specific board, so for example, you wanted to pin something to the Incentive Programs Ireland board, then you would click pin for this board, and it will only show up at the top of that board. Dylan's answered the question in chat, but I will just cover that off. So you can pin more than one post. As best practice, we would recommend not having more than 5, because that can get awful messy and drive your content that most people are probably coming to the site for further down the page. So be selective about what you're pinning, and just try and make sure that it's obviously useful to the people that you're working in with. And you'll figure this out as you go along. It's complicated to explain. It's not complicated when you're actually trying to do it.
Mm-hmm. And whenever in doubt around how you may want to pin content or what content you should be pinning or where it needs to be pinned, if you need to, of course, consult with Jill.
Great. And then more resources box, which is really exciting for me, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, certainly. So could you go back to where you were seeing the discussion spaces? We need to get to the admin button. If you can scroll up for me.
Yeah.
Go back to partner discussion topics. So in the middle of the page, just below the lovely woman with headphones, you're going to see an admin button. This is for anybody who has the product admin role that Jill is providing to people on this call. So go ahead and click on that button. There might be some aspects to this button that may look a little different. I don't believe it will, but just want to call it out just because Jill is an admin for the tech community all up. And then you're going to, if you could select on that drop down for me, you're going to be able to see the partner discussion topics. So this is looking at all of the different conversations, all the different places within tech community. So I just wanted to showcase this to you all, as in that you could be seeing a lot of other different things on this list. no need to be concerned or worried or anything like that. Just, of course, stay within the partner area, as you all will have the availability to be clear, you would only see spaces your product admins for. Exactly. So this is just something to call out. So go ahead and we'll just stay within partner community, so you can just move out of that drop down. So if you could go to the resources tab for me. So then we'll go ahead and look at the different labels or levels for these things. So category is just if you're looking at a specific board. So if you could click on that drop down for me, I believe it'll just be one quick thing, but yeah. So go ahead and select on board. And then for the next one, we'll be selecting a board here. So if you could, we'll just select partner benefits.
Benefits, okay.
Yeah. So from there, this is a HTML enabled box. You can, of course, use it as a regular text editor, but you can, while within this box here, you can add hyperlinks, different kinds of content, showcase different content you may want to showcase that is new as resources that are going to be specific to the partner benefits discussion space. Normally, when I am showcasing this aspect to people, I want this to be more of a conversation with the admin or the person who's kind of helping be the arbiter for the community all up. So again, just as a further call out, if ever in doubt of what kind of content we should be showcasing here or anything like that, reach out to Jill. More of an eagle eye view just of the whole partner community and kind of what the initiatives there are and how we can best showcase these things. But this is available for you all to showcase different resources that is going to be very special or very important for these topics of conversation, and then as well initiatives, campaigns, things that we want to be utilizing and promoting. This can also show up in the related resources boxes as well for each discussion space. Getting real tongue-tied this morning.
Yeah, so for instance, at the very top, I would be, to give you an example of what I'll be providing in this area. So for Microsoft Cloud Partner Programs, I'm going to take some specific, I don't know, playbooks or whatever kind of information we find that's most important for that program, and I'm going to pin it to the top. So it's going to be in each of your related topic or more resources boxes. So the whole community will have all of those resources in the more resources. Now, as you get into your own category, we can adjust those to only show the ones that you would like, and you can add your own resources. Let's say go back to Ireland again. They say Ireland has a specific playbook or they have specific information just for Ireland partners. We can adjust this more resources box in the Ireland area to just have specific links that they would like to illustrate. So it's really versatile. I'm going to have a kind of the basics all up, and then we can adjust as needed. There's a hand up. Roberta.
Yeah, Jill, sorry, to me for understand. So the more resources are linked to the overall community in our case for the Western Europe countries or for each discussion?
So it's basically a link to a post within the community. So you correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but like Action Pack would be so we'll go to here.
It would be a link.
I'm going to jump in because I also have my hand up so I could add something because I think that kind of answers exactly what Roberta is about to.
Okay, great. I didn't see it, Alan.
That's okay. So Roberta, you can have different related resources, more resources box for each discussion board. So if you go into the Ireland area, each one of those discussion boards you have could have completely different links in them. They do not have to link to anywhere that is on the tech community. They can be linked to anywhere at all. And actually, the more resources box is much more flexible than that. It doesn't have to be a list of links. There can be a whole lot of other things that you stick in there. So, for example, you could stick in an image which users could click on. So, for example, if you had a registration to a summit or something that you wanted to promote in the more resources box. A list is simple, and that's why we've shown it here. Obviously, if you're trying to do something a little bit more advanced with the more resources box and you're getting stuck, then reach out to our team and we'll help you get it set up.
Okay. Clear. Thanks, Alan.
Great.
Excellent.
So that's good. Okay, let's go through labels, which I'm excited about, which is kind of next on our list. Let's see, I can't remember which one I've got here. Let's see if it populates. Okay, yes, this one. So this is the Microsoft Teams community. We don't have enough labels yet because we don't have a lot of posts yet. So this is, I'm just using it as an example. This is another community that lives on tech. So there you go, Dylan.
Yeah, so this is the discussion space. So as your discussion spaces fill up with content, as you talk with partners, it'll look a lot more like this. And as you can see, the more resources box there, there's a list of links. So, but just below that is the box of labels. So the different labels that are utilized here on the Microsoft Teams community, they utilize the predefined labels just because there's a lot of posts there and it can turn into a real Wild West pretty quickly. So here you can see how often certain labels are being used across the discussion space and across the community for the Teams community. And then you can, of course, see all the different types of labels there. They've got Teams, they've got calling, user interface, administrator, all that fun stuff. And then if you go ahead and if you click on one of them, it's going to automatically search via those labels. So it's going to automatically provide you with the list of posts, how many replies they've got, how many views they've got of posts that utilize that label. So this is really helpful if, say, you have a campaign that you're doing and you want to see everybody who's posting utilizing a certain label, all that fun stuff. Or if you want to kind of make sure there's more engagement around specific topics, you can use this as well to validate those efforts. And then, of course, there is a subscribe option to this label to where you will get a notification for each time that someone makes a post in that space using that label. So if you needed to see a specific, again, campaign, opportunity, different initiatives that you need to talk about, different topics that you need to talk about that really are a big deal for you all, you'll be able to kind of see those posts as they come in and get those notifications. And then, of course, you can unsubscribe to it, which is a very quick and easy thing to do, especially once you're in this page. So yeah, I mean, the labels, it is relatively much like Alan said earlier, it seems like a lot as you explain it, but as you utilize them and as you work around with them, it becomes pretty clear pretty fast.
And also what we've done from MPC, so we've had in our current space, we have a lot of different forums and discussion spaces, but a lot of the content just gets repeated in those spaces. Let's say, for instance, cloud services partner, we have indirect and direct and indirect reseller. So we have these 3 different groups. What we've done is combined all those groups into one discussion board, and we're going to be utilizing the labels to differentiate between the different types of partners. So that way they can subscribe to CSP indirect. So every time the indirect label is used, they will get an email and it says, okay, this is content I need to review. And that way we can post, if it applies to both indirect and direct, we can apply both of those labels. All the partners that need to see it will get notified. And it will just be easier to decide where to put your content. It won't be duplicated. We feel it's going to be a lot cleaner and a lot easier for our partners to find the information that they're looking for. So that's why I'm really excited about this aspect. So if you have any questions about this or how you can utilize this in your areas, let me know. I'm happy to help you with that.
We'd also strongly recommend that teams start to think about labels as their community grows and get that implemented as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. The Teams group in some way is a great example because yes, they're using predefined labels, of which they have about 20, but you can see there are 271 labels here. The reason for that is they didn't start off using labels. So every post that used whatever label they wanted in the past is still got whatever that label was. And so it's easier to set up labels and expand them early than it is to go back and clean them up later. We can help you if you end up in the same situation as the Teams community, but for the most part, think about how are people going to be looking for your content? How are they likely to want it segmented? And then start with some labels. You'll soon hear from the community if you don't have enough labels. Yeah. It's very easy to add more labels, and it's there's a golden rule that follows throughout the whole of community. Is it's much easier to give something to the user than it is to take it away. So start off small, add, grow, expand as you understand the people that are participating in your community, and organizing of the information will come as you develop. The other thing which labels are especially useful for, which we've not particularly covered here, is let's say you've been running your community for 2 years. You've got this one discussion board that's got 20,000 posts in it, of which, 10,000 are on one topic and 3,000 are on another. Well, it might be time to think about, does that 10,000 discussion need to have its own home? And if they're all labeled, that makes life easier for actually moving all of it around, because we can grab all the posts that are tagged with that label and shift it to its new community. So you encourage the use of labels, and if you need any help with it, then obviously reach out to Jill and our team, and we'll help you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Alan. Okay, employee lounge. This is something new I was not even aware of until we spoke a couple weeks ago, so it's really exciting.
So the employee lounge is a initiative that our team launched a little bit under 2 years ago, just of a employee specific space to have conversations that are, of course, specific to internal personnel. This is across the tech community and across Microsoft. This is not specific to your teams, something to keep in mind. If you could go ahead and scroll up for me, actually. So we're looking at the discussion space for the employee lounge. Works essentially like a discussion space in any other community, except it's more of a discussion space for you all to talk to us, ask specific questions, and talk about specific topics around working as an employee, as an internal personnel on tech community and that experience. If you could go over to the community playbook. Community playbook is a series of blog posts or a series of KB articles, knowledge base articles, discussing different aspects of community, how to be successful, things that you may want to do, finding traffic information, monthly active users as a measuring tool, understanding the tech community vision, all of these fun things that we posted 2 years ago that are still relatively relative. And when I say that, they incredibly are. So there's not a whole lot of change in regards to our vision, in regards to what makes desirable content on the tech community. Community is community, and oftentimes these kinds of the tricks of the trade stay the same. Then, of course, there are FAQs that are split up into 5 different sections. Getting started guides. If you could scroll back down. Metrics, ROI, and measuring success. Managing your community. These are the blog admin help card is going to be very special for a lot of you as you are administrators for specific blogs in your specific areas. Creating content, as well as troubleshooting. Things like how to create an HAR file, which is something I know I said HAR, the full acronym, because I don't know how else to say it. And then that also helps us as you reach out to us with specific issues or things that we need to take a look at. Things are broken, things aren't working. We're going to need a little bit more information on that. And usually if things are broken, Alan's going to be the person that you'll bother. So he would love those files. An HAR file. Make sure you say it that way every single time. Thank you very much, Jill. If you could scroll up for me. So okay. Please definitely take a look at the community playbook. Take a look around. There's a lot of content in there, so I'll leave it up to you all to do that on your own time. But definitely take a look around when you can. Employee blogs is a blog that we utilize not often, but it is a blog that we utilize for sending out specific information to you all that we need to make sure you all have access to and can read. Viewership isn't super high. It's just employees. The information isn't going to always be useful. And of course, if you have constant lines of communication with Jill, oftentimes you'll already be aware. And then for the ideas board, works much like an ideas board, or if you are familiar with a user voice type of experience. You can submit an idea. Usually these are things that Alan helps moderate. So Alan, feel free to keep me humble here. But we operate it the same way that people do within like user voice and all that fun stuff, is by sourcing kind of the idea, where we're at with the idea, if we're able to work on it, if we need more information, like the one at the top kind of mentions here on the little top right-hand corner there, all that fun stuff. So if you have an idea for the tech community, if you have something that you want to implement or something that you would like to see, of course, have the conversation with Jill, absolutely. But also feel free to submit it as an idea. Our team will be able to meet and discuss it as full and kind of figure out how best we want to address it.
Hey, can we switch over to calendar view since, can we talk
Yes.
about the events calendar? Because we're kind of running out of time and I want to make
Yep.
sure to go to that
Makes
one for
perfect sense.
everybody. Okay,
Yep.
great. So, but you're free to explore the rest of that space on your own, or of course, contact me for questions. I'll probably just ask Dylan because I'm still new to that space too. But okay, so going to partner news and events, this is great. I really want you guys to be aware of this so that you can start adding your events. As of today, it's open. Please start adding anything that you feel would be of value to our partners. What you're going to do is go to your partner event submission, and this is going to be viewable to everybody on the site. So everybody can submit their events. They are going to be hidden until they are approved by me. So even if they're third party, but they have a Microsoft speaker, we're happy to host those on the site. We do have to be careful about other third-party events that do not include Microsoft speakers because we don't know what kind of content, so we're not going to be really responsible for what they're saying. So that would be something that we would not post. They can submit it, but we probably wouldn't publish it. So you're going to go into here. You're going to go into, where did it go? Partner. So we go to events page, create an event. Here's where you're going to go. You're going to go, yes, I need to add my event into here. And it should populate. And then this is going to be, you do your title. An image would be great. If you don't supply an image, I can do a Microsoft General just logo for you, but it's always nice to have a nice picture if you can get one. Location, venue, it's pretty self-explanatory. Make sure that you have your event time and date, a lot of information. Make sure to put the registration in the event details. And make sure to add your labels for whatever type of partner that you're trying to gear towards so that they get, again, with the labels, they'll get a CSP partner indirect. If that's part of their event, they'll get a notification. Whereas before we didn't have that option. Let's see what else. I don't know what the more options is. Okay. Dylan, can you take me through, or Alan, can you take me through these more options? I don't know what these are really. The I guess these are the same from before. The associated products, I don't know what.
Yeah, so there is a products database in the back end of the community, which you can use to associate products to events. Most people don't use it, in all honesty. And to be honest with you, these more options, the reason why this is condensed is for the most part, you never need to fill this out, okay?
Yeah.
The only time that you might ever want to fill this out is, let's say you are creating an event on the tech community for an event that already has a website, like a registration page. Then you can go into more options and you can put a link to the registration page under the conical URL. And what that does is it tells the search engine that, hey, this is a copy and the source of truth is over here, and so that the content doesn't get demoted. We'll obviously try and help. The only other thing I wanted to quickly cover is featured guests. These have to be people who are on the tech community. So you can't just add like Joe Blogs from down the road. It has to be somebody who is a member of the tech community. It's just a limitation on the system. You can obviously leave it blank if the speaker isn't going to be isn't a member of the community, and then you can obviously put speaker information just in the body of the event above. One of the most common things people ask us about events is, so does this actually spin up a live event on the community with a live video embed? And the answer to that at the moment is no, it doesn't. So you still need to continue using whatever events system you're using today if you're having live events. If it's an AMA, so a text-based event, of course you can have that in the community. But similarly, what you can do is, let's say you've had a Teams call and that event has gone by, you can actually come back into this once the event has gone by and post the uploaded video. Again, it has to be on either YouTube or Red Tiger or whatever, allowing people to come back and view it on demand later.
So you're saying that even if as the events pass in the calendar view, we could go back to, let's say, for instance, as we move into May, we can go back to events in April and then click on the link and see if they've uploaded the video. We can actually watch the event in the post, which is cool.
There's two lists that show up in the event view. There's upcoming events, so events that are coming up in the future, and then there's past events. So you can actually go and see events that have gone by. And of course, all events remain searchable on the community. It's not like they disappear after 3 months or whatever. So yeah, it is an option. We can support on-demand video for events so that people who weren't able to attend can do so. You can obviously come in and view it.
Awesome. All right, well, we're at time, and so I'm sorry we didn't have a chance to get questions in. Maybe I'll schedule another Q&A session so that everybody can have a chance. So write your questions down, save them. I'll schedule another meeting with these guys and me, and just maybe free space you can jump on, ask your questions to make sure that you guys are supported as we change over through this. I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys are too. I think it looks great. You guys have been great about helping us create the spaces that you need. So thank you for responding to my big long emails, and looking forward to launching this. I'm excited. So
Excellent.
I'm going to
Thank you all.
conclude, and yeah, thanks Dylan. Thanks Alan. I appreciate your time, and everybody, we'll see you out there. Okay. Thank you.
Cheers all.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.